sir.
Okay. Once again, we are going to discuss about the DC circuit. So may I know that, does anybody know that the definition of DC? Can anybody try to give the
The
definition?
closed path followed by direct current is called a DC circuit.
Okay, so you have given the definition for the DC circuit. Okay, so I want that definition for direct current. Can anybody know that the definition for direct?
Current which has its constant magnitude in one direction with respect to time is called a DC.
Absolutely correct. Okay, so the DC direct current, it means that the current which has a constant magnitude in one direction with respect to time, that current we call it a DC direct current. And the circuit, it means that a closed path. Get it my point? So we can define the DC circuit, which is nothing but the closed path followed by direct current is called as a DC circuit. Now, what are the essential part of a DC circuit for any DC circuit? Number one, so there are total three essential parts of any DC circuits are there. Number one, DC energy source. Can anybody know that what is the basic purpose of this DC energy source? Why it is required? The one thing is that without energy source, no current will flow. Is it right? This is the first important thing. Now, second important thing is that as we know that the basic function of energy source, which is nothing but it will create the potential difference at the two end of the load resistance. And we know that, I think you might be learned in the physics in the 12th standards, 11th standards, or might be in the last semester engineering physics. Without a potential difference, there will not be the flow of free electrons, and the flow of free electrons, that is called as a current. Get it my point? Does anybody know that the definition of a current? Just try to create the definition of a current. Just try to remember that you already know these things, you already learned these things. How you define that the current, electric current?
Flow of current from flow of electrons from positive terminal to negative terminal.
Let me correct these things, because that electrons are always try to move from negative terminal to positive terminal.
Rate of flow of charge.
Absolutely correct. It's a rate of flow of charge, dq by dt. If you try to put it the equation for the current, we can write dq by dt. Q means what? It's electric charge, and dt means what? With respect to time. But actually the current always try to flow from negative terminal towards the positive terminal. And we know that conventional direction of a current, what I say that conventional direction of a current is always from positive terminal towards the negative terminal through external circuit. Now my basic question to you all, try to listen my question very carefully, because this is very fundamental thing is that. Is it right? When the electrons will try to move from negative terminal to positive terminal, when the electrons will move from negative terminal towards the positive terminal, let me clear that the one thing before the answer of this question, that electrons having which types of charge? Negative charge. Absolutely correct. And we know that there is a force of attraction between positive and the negative charge. Is it right? So definitely that electrons are always move from negative end, negative terminal towards the positive terminal. But when these electrons will move from negative end towards the positive end, when there is a potential difference, some kind of energy is connected to the in between these two terminal, positive and the negative terminal. And this is the main purpose behind this energy source. When we connect this energy source, definitely the potential difference is created between the two ends of that circuit. And once the potential difference will be created, that electrons are tried to move from negative terminal to positive terminal, and hence we say that the conventional direction of a current will flow from positive terminal towards the negative terminal through external circuit. So this is the basic function of this DC energy source is that. As I said that DC energy source. You can take that example of a battery. If you consider one simple example of a simple circuit, the dry cell. Have you observed that dry cell? आपण घड्याळामध्ये वापरतो किंवा पेन्सिल चेअर म्हणतो. That is also called as an energy source. And it has its a positive and the negative terminal. And when we connect that one small bulb, LED bulb or any kind of small bulb which will be operated on that dry cell, then we connect that bulb has its a two terminal. One is a positive, second is a negative. We connected dry cell to the positive to positive, negative to negative terminal. That bulb will glow. Bulb, it will be glow. It means that current is flowing through that bulb. But when without a dry cell, is the current will flow through that bulb?
No.
Absolutely no. It means that the basic function of this energy source is it will create the potential difference between the two ends of a bulb. And once the potential difference will be created, that electrons are try to move from negative terminal to positive terminal, and hence we say that the conventional direction of current will flow from positive to negative terminal. This is the basic principle behind that electric current is that. Any doubt related to these things? Now, so this is the first essential part of any DC circuit. We call it an energy source. आता जसं आपण म्हणलं की ड्राय सेल इट्स वन टाइप ऑफ एनर्जी सोर्स, असे भरपूर टाइप आहेत, बरोबर आहे. तर त्यापैकी एक ड्राय सेल, पेन्सिल सेल म्हणतो आपण त्याला किंवा सेल म्हणतो फक्त, तो वी कॉल इट्स एनर्जी सोर्स. सेकंड इज अ लोड रेजिस्टन्स. आता बल्ब तिथं जो कनेक्ट केलेला आहे तो काय आहे, तिथं लोड आहे. आता मला सांगा, तिथं जर बल्बच नसेल तर त्या सर्किटला काय अर्थ आहे का? आपण नेमकं मग ड्राय सेल कनेक्ट करायचंच कशासाठी? Are you getting my point? Some kind of load must be exist in the circuit. Then and then the circuit has its meaning. आता load म्हणजे काय? Basically there are three types of loads are there. One is a resistive load, second is a capacitive load, third is a inductive load. But remember the one thing, whenever we discuss about the DC circuit, there is only one type of a load it is used, and that is nothing but resistance. आता तुम्ही म्हणसाल की मग इंडक्टिव्ह आणि कॅपॅसिटिव्ह लोड का वापरत नाही डीसी सर्किट मध्ये? इट हॅज इट्स स्पेसिफिक रिझन, सायंटिफिक रिझन, बेसिक रिझन. Definitely I will try to discuss, but before that let me put this question in front of you. Why not inductor and why not capacitor is connected to DC circuit? Why only the resistance load it is connected to the DC circuit? Try to search that answer. I will give the 2 days to you. Definitely after 2 days I will ask this question, I will raise this question once again in the lecture. So that time hope that you must have that answer of this my question. Are you clear about my question? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Once again, I will repeat. Once again, I will repeat. There are total 3 types of loads are there. There are total basic, I say that basic 3 types of loads are there. One is a resistive load, second is an inductive load, and third one is a capacitive load. But out of these 3 basic loads, only resistive load is used in a DC circuit. So the question is that why not inductive and the capacitive load are used in a DC circuit? And if we connect the inductive and the capacitive load to the DC circuit, then what happens? This is the question. But right now, you just remember that whenever the DC circuit is there, we consider that only resistive load only. Are you clear my point? Now you say that this capacitive load, inductive load, where it will be used? In that AC circuit, these three basic types of load it comes. Whenever that AC circuit it comes there, then definitely these three basic types of loads will be there. Is it right? But when the DC circuit is there, only resistive load is present. So this is the second essential part of a DC circuit. And third one is what? The connecting wires. Definitely the positive terminal of dry cell, we have to connect it to the positive terminal of a battery through the connecting wire, and the negative terminal, we have to connect it to the negative terminal of a bulb through that wire. So this connecting wire is also important. So these are the three essential things for any DC circuit. Let me try to show these things. Now have a look on this diagram. If you see this diagram, you will observe that here is a one energy source. We call it a DC energy source. If you see that, it has its two terminal, the positive terminal and the negative terminal. As we know that electrons are always move from negative end towards the positive end. So we say that the conventional direction of a current is always move from positive terminal towards the negative terminal through external circuit. Get it my point? So this is that energy source. We call it applied voltage. What is the basic principle behind it? Just now I explained what is the basic principle behind that energy source.
To
Why
create
it is
potential
necessary?
difference. To create potential difference.
Absolutely correct. Now, have you observed that it's a load resistance here? R stands for what? It's a resistance. Do you know that symbol of resistance? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, can anybody think about that? Why this symbol is just like this zigzag lines or just like a speed breaker?
This is break the current or
Opposed to the current.
opposed to the current.
Absolutely correct. These zigzag lines, I look like, or it look like just like a speed breaker. Actually, I decided it like a speed breaker, but not this point is not mentioned in any of the textbooks. But I say that it is a speed breaker because when I say that the speed breaker, it means that it is the opposition to the flow of vehicle. Similarly, the function of resistance is the opposition to the flow of a current through it. That's why it's a symbol. And if you see that it's a unit also, it is just like a speed breaker, ohm. Have you know that the symbol?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Whose mic is on? That Shubham Murmute. Please don't try to disturb me like this. Huh? So see that this is that energy source. This is the load resistance. And these are nothing but the connecting wires. Now, in place of load resistance, just consider that one small bulb. Just assume it. And in place of this energy source, just consider that one dry cell. Is it right? So the positive terminal of the dry cell is connected to the positive terminal of a bulb, and the negative terminal of a dry cell is connected to the negative terminal of a bulb through connecting wires. Is it right? And this V stands for what? It's an energy source, voltage of that energy source. Get it my point? So when we connected that the voltage, so this applied voltage will maintain the potential difference between the two end of that load resistance, because the resistance is a two terminal component. Is it right? You can consider here is point A and you can consider here is a point B. So the function of this energy source is it will maintain the potential difference between two ends. And when the potential difference is exist, म्हणजे तिथं जर potential difference असेल या दोन पॉइंटला, then definitely that electrons, free electrons are always try to move from this negative terminal towards the positive terminal. So this is the direction of free electrons, and hence we say that conventional direction of a current is always flow from positive terminal towards the negative terminal through external circuit. आता मी इथं थ्रू एक्सटर्नल सर्किट हा वर्ड का यूज केलाय हो? कारण कोणीतरी मिस अंडरस्टँडिंग जर झालं तर कोणतरी असं म्हणू शकेल की पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल टू निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल करंट असा फ्लो होतोय का मग? परंतु ते इनसाइड द एनर्जी सोर्स करंट कधीच पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल कडून निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल कडे होत नाही. इनसाइड म्हणतोय मी. इट ऑलवेज फ्लो फ्रॉम, म्हणजे एनर्जी सोर्स मधून करंट हा कायम पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल मधून बाहेर पडतोय, तो एक्सटर्नल सर्किट मधून तो निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल, बिकॉज करंट ऑलवेज टेक द क्लोज्ड पाथ. इट ऑलवेज टेक द closed path. It means that it always starts its journey from positive terminal, again through load resistance RL, and again it will enter to the negative terminal. This is the journey of electric current. So these are the three essential things. If you have that any doubt, you please raise that doubt. Otherwise, I will try to proceed further. Okay. Now, before going to that next point, let me clear that the one thing here, as we know that the function of energy source is to maintain the potential difference in between the terminal of the circuit. And this is the mandatory condition to the flow of electric current. The flow of electric current, it means that it is a rate of flow of electric charges. Is it right? There is a movement of a free electrons within the terminals of the circuit, and that's why we say that electric current, it flows. Now the question is that when we applied V volt to the resistance of R ohm, then how much current it will flow? Is it right? It means that right now there are total 3 electrical terms are in front of you. What are these 3 electric terms? One is the voltage. You can call it applied voltage also. Another one is resistance. And the third one is, due to presence of voltage and the resistance, electric current is flows through it. It means that these are the 3 basic terms, fundamental terms of electrical engineering. Voltage, you can call it a potential difference also, resistance, and the electric current. So as you know that these are the 3 basic essential things of that any DC circuit, but what is the relation between these 3 fundamental
P
terms?
is equals to R into I.
Is it right? So that relation was discovered by one of the scientists, and that relation is known with his name, and that is nothing but what? That is nothing but the Ohm's law. It means that right now, at least you should be clear about it, that Ohm's is the name of the scientist, and he discovered that the relationship between the 3 fundamental things of electrical engineering. One is that electric voltage, second is the resistance, and the third one is that electric current. He has discovered, he did the series of experiment to find out the relation between these 3 fundamental terms, and he come up with that one statement, one conclusion, and this conclusion is known with his name, with a law, we call it Ohm's law. And this Ohm's law, it gives the relationship between these 3 basic terminals, or these 3 basic points: voltage, resistance, and the current is there. Okay, so see that the relationship between that applied voltage V, current I, and load resistance R in a DC circuit was first discovered by German scientist Georg Simon Ohm. This is the name of a scientist. It's a German scientist. And this relationship is known with his name. We call it that Ohm's law is that. Is it right? So what the statement he has made, let's we try to discuss about it. So he has, as I said, that he did the series of experiment to find out the relationship between these three basic terms. One is the applied voltage, second is the load resistance, and the third one is that electric current. Is it right? And this is, I say that the basic circuit diagram to just define that Ohm's law here. Okay. So the statement is like that. Just see that here. The ratio of potential difference, it means that what? Applied voltage between the end of a conductor to the current flowing between them is always constant, provided that physical condition, that is temperature, size, etc., do not change. So what is that Ohm's law? V divided by I is equal to constant. Now what is this V? V is nothing but the potential difference. Is it right? As we know that the basic condition, primary requirement to the flow of electric current is nothing but the potential difference. Is it right? And what is this I? I is nothing but due to that potential difference, the current flows through the circuit. So that Ohm's law gives that the ratio of potential difference. आता हा potential difference आपण कुठं connect करतोय? Between the end of a conductor. बरोबर आहे? To I means what? The current flowing between them. त्या दोन पॉइंट मध्ये ज्यावेळेस potential difference exist असेल तर त्या दोन पॉइंट मधून current flow होणार आहे. So that is called as a I flowing between them is always constant. But when the physical condition of conductor do not change. आता मी इथं कंडक्टर म्हणलेला आहे, तुम्ही तिथं रेजिस्टन्स म्हणू शकता, परंतु कंडक्टर का म्हणलेला आहे? कारण आपल्याला माहित आहे की when we want to flow that the current through the circuit, definitely we use that the conductor over there. Is it right? But what is the meaning of that? Do not change means temperature, size. If you consider that one fixed length of a conductor, one fixed area of cross section of a conductor, fixed temperature of a conductor, that time only this law is valid. It means that we have to take care that the temperature should not be changed, length of the conductor should not be changed, area of cross section should not be changed. That time only the V divided by I is remain constant. This is the basic primary requirement for this Ohm's law is that. So once again I will repeat that Ohm's law. Be careful about it because this is the first point of your syllabus. The ratio of a potential difference to the between the end of the conductor to the current flowing between them is always constant, and this constant is nothing but the resistance of that conductor, and the resistance is always constant provided that the physical condition of that conductor should not be changed. This is the Ohm's law is that, and this is the relation of a Ohm's law, and that's why generally we always use this Ohm's law is nothing but V is equal to I into R. If I transfer this I to this side, so it should be multiplied. So that's why we remember that the equation V is equal to IR. But while defining the definition, while remembering the definition, you always try to remember the definition like this: V divided by I is equal to constant, and the constant is nothing but the resistance R of that conductor is there. So this is that Ohm's law is there, and this is the relation for the DC circuits given by that Ohm's law. What is that relation? V is equal to I into R. Now, can I say that here R is always constant, it will not change? So can I say that V is directly proportional to I? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Means what? It means that applied voltage is directly proportional to the current. It means that as the applied voltage goes on increasing, the current is also increases with the same proportion when the resistance R is kept constant. This is the meaning of that Ohm's law is that. Get it my point? Now, let's we go to that another one point here. It simply means that as we know that R is nothing but the resistance of a conductor, you can call it a resistance of a circuit also. Is it right? When R is kept constant, the current I is directly proportional to the potential difference, applied voltage across the end of the conductor is there. Okay. Take one simple electric circuit. This is that electric circuit. If you see that, again the three essential parts are consist in this circuit. If you see that this is that energy source, we call it applied voltage. V is equal to 5 volt. This is the DC voltage. Now if you see that a load resistance is considered here, that R is equal to 100 ohm, its value is 100 ohm. As we know that the current always starts its journey from positive terminal. It is shown with this arrow. It flows through R and it will always return to the negative terminal. Let me clear that the one thing, whatever the current will starts its journey from positive terminal of the battery or that energy source, the same amount of current must be returned to the negative terminal of a battery. याचा अर्थ लक्षात येतोय का बघा. म्हणजे जर अज्यूम असं केलं की जर 2 एम्पियर करंट हा पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल मधून बाहेर पडला तर निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल मध्ये किती करंट आला पाहिजे हो? 2 एम्पियरच आला पाहिजे. दॅट्स वाय वी से दॅट देन अँड देन वी से दॅट दिस इज द क्लोज्ड पाथ. असं कधीच होणार नाही तुम्हाला की पॉझिटिव्ह टर्मिनल मधून 2 एम्पियर करंट बाहेर पडला आणि निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल मध्ये 1 एम्पियर करंट आला. मग 1 एम्पियर करंट गेला कुठं? Are you clear my point? That's why my statement is like that. What value of current starts its journey from positive terminal of external battery, the same amount of current must be returned to the negative terminal of the same battery. जर त्या बॅटरी मधून 1 एम्पियर करंट बाहेर पडत असेल तर निगेटिव्ह टर्मिनल मध्ये सुद्धा 1 एम्पियर करंट येणार आहे. Are you clear my point? Get it my point? Now see that now this is a closed path, and in that closed path a one resistance is connected having its value of 100 ohm, and when there is a closed path definitely current starts to flow. Is it right? Now what value of current will flow through the circuit? Right now when we consider the applied voltage is of 5 volt and the resistance of 100 ohm, then what value of current will flow through this simple electric circuit? We can calculate that value by using that Ohm's law. For that purpose, this is the application of Ohm's law. आपण आत्ताच Ohm's law बघितला. आता तो Ohm's law आपल्याला या इलेक्ट्रिक सर्किट्स मध्ये अप्लाय करायचा आहे आणि त्याचं ऍप्लिकेशन यूज करून आपल्याला करंटची व्हॅल्यू डिटरमाइन करायची आहे. सिंपल थिंग आहे. What is that applied voltage? Only 5 volt. This applied voltage will create the potential difference between the two terminal of these resistors having its value 100 ohm. And due to that 5 volt potential difference, तर त्या 2 पॉइंट मधला potential difference किती आहे? हा 5 volt आहे. And due to that 5 volt, electrons will move from negative terminal towards the positive terminal, and the some amount of current will move from positive terminal towards the negative terminal. Now when the current will move towards the resistor R, according to that Ohm's law, only one resistance is present in that circuit. That's why we can easily apply that Ohm's law here, as we know that applied voltage V is equal to 5 volt and resistance R is equal to 100 ohm, and we know that Ohm's law is nothing but V divided by I is equal to constant is equal to R, or simply you can remember that V is equal to I into R. By applying Ohm's law, we have that relation. V is equal to I into R. Out of that, we know that it's a 5 volt. R, we know that it's 100 ohm. Let's we try to put that value. Now, when I want to calculate that value of I need to transfer this 100 to this left hand side. And when I transfer this 100 to the left hand side, it should be divided. It should be divided to that 5. So that on the left hand side, what is that equation? 5 divided by 100 is equal to I. Now you can calculate that answer, which is equal to 0.05 ampere. And that 0.05 ampere, we call it a 50 milliampere. Milli stands for 10 raised to minus 3. Are you clear my point? Anybody having any doubt, please raise that doubt. Definitely, this is our regular practice. Whenever my point is over, then I will give the time to you to ask this question. No doubts? No problem?
No, sir.
If the problem is not there, definitely I will proceed further. Is there? Okay. But before that, 1 minute, you just have a look on it. The few students have joined. I will take note down their roll number there. Okay, let's I move to the next slide. Limitations of Ohm's law. आत्ताच आपण Ohm's law बघितला की the ratio of potential difference applied between the terminals of the conductor to the current flowing between them is always equal to constant. But there are certain limitations to that Ohm's law. So what are the limitations of that Ohm's law? If you see that Ohm's law, it gives that equation V is equal to I into R. R is always constant. That's why we say that V is directly proportional to I. बरोबर आहे? म्हणजे Ohm's law ज्या ठिकाणी आपण अप्लाय करणार आहोत त्या ठिकाणी अप्लाइड व्होल्टेज आणि करंट हे प्रोपोर्शनल मध्ये पाहिजे. हे काय पाहिजे? प्रोपोर्शनल मध्ये पाहिजे. जर ते प्रोपोर्शनल मध्ये येत नसतील तर त्या ठिकाणी आपण ओम्स लॉ अप्लाय करू शकत नाही. दिस इज द फर्स्ट लिमिटेशन्स ऑफ ओम्स लॉ. आणि ते कधी प्रोपोर्शनल मध्ये येणार नाही. देयर आर सर्टन डिव्हाइसेस which will not maintain the proportionality between applied voltage and the current, where we cannot apply the voltage Ohm's law. It means that these are the non-linear devices.